Imagine you walk into a car dealership. You found the perfect car. It looks amazing, it drives smooth, and honestly, you deserve it. The salesperson sits across from you, smiling, and says, "We can get you into this car today for just $389 a month." And something in your brain just relaxes. $389. That's nothing. That's less than my rent. Less than my groceries. I can do $389. So you sign the papers, drive home in your new car, and feel amazing. But here's what nobody told you in that moment. You didn't just buy a car. You bought a 7-year financial trap, carefully designed to feel like a good deal, engineered to drain your wealth quietly, and dressed up in the most persuasive number in all of personal finance: a low monthly payment. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most common and most costly money mistakes in America: the 84-month car loan. Here's the thing about humans and money. We are really bad at thinking in totals. But we are very good at thinking about right now. Psychologists call this present bias. It means our brains naturally put way more weight on what something costs us today than what it costs us over time. And car dealerships know this. They've known it for decades. That's why, when you walk in and ask, "How much is this car?" a smart salesperson will almost never answer that question directly. Instead, they'll flip the conversation to one number and one number only. "What do you want your monthly payment to be?" Boom. The trap is set. Because once you're thinking in monthly payments, you've stopped thinking about the total. And here's where it gets interesting and expensive. Over the last decade, car loans have gotten longer and longer. In the 1990s, the average car loan was about 48 months. For years. Then it stretched to 60 months. Then 72. And now, 84-month car loans, that's 7 full years, have become completely normal. Some lenders are even pushing 96 months. 8 years. And people are taking them. Millions of them. Not because they're stupid, but because they've been handed a number that feels reasonable and nobody explained what's hiding underneath it. So let's explain it. Let's use a real example. Keep the math simple so it sticks. Say you're buying a car that costs $35,000. Pretty average for a new car in America right now. You have 2 options. Option A, a 48-month loan at 7% interest. Your monthly payment? About $838 a month. Total amount you pay over the life of the loan? Roughly $40,200. So you paid about $5,200 in interest. Option B, an 84-month loan at 9% interest. Your monthly payment? About $560 a month. Total amount you pay over the life of the loan? Roughly $47,000. So you paid about $12,000 in interest. Same car. Same $35,000 sticker price. But the 84-month loan cost you $12,000 in interest instead of $5,200. That's more than double. You paid an extra $6,800 just to spread the payments out longer. Now pause here, because there's something important to notice. The monthly payment dropped from $838 to $560. That feels like a savings of $278 a month. And that feels great, right? But you're paying it for 36 more months. You're paying for 7 years instead of 4. So those savings every month, they evaporate, and then some. You didn't save money. You just moved money from your future self to the bank. And here's the part that makes this even trickier. When loan terms get longer, lenders typically charge higher interest rates. Because a longer loan means more risk for them. More time for something to go wrong. More time for you to miss payments. So they charge you more to take that risk. So not only are you borrowing for longer, you're borrowing at a higher rate. It's a double hit, packaged inside one friendly-looking monthly number. Now let's talk about something called depreciation. Because this is where the 84-month loan goes from expensive to genuinely dangerous. Cars lose value fast. Like, shockingly fast. A new car loses roughly 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. In the first year, it might lose 25 to 30% of what you paid. By year 3, it's worth maybe 50 to 60% of the original price. By year 5, it could be worth less than half. Now here's the problem. With an 84-month loan, your loan balance drops slowly. Really slowly. For the first 2 or 3 years, most of your monthly payment is going toward interest, not toward paying down the actual loan amount. This is how loan amortization works. Front-loaded interest. So in year 2 or year 3 of your loan, your car might be worth $18,000. But you might still owe $27,000 on it. That gap, where you owe more than the car is worth, has a name. It's called being underwater, or upside down on your loan, and it creates a trap inside a trap. Because now, if something goes wrong, if you lose your job, if the car gets totaled, if you need to sell it, you don't just walk away free. You walk away owing thousands of dollars on a car you no longer have. Let's say your car gets totaled in year 3. Insurance pays you what the car is worth. Let's say $18,000. But you still owe $27,000. You are now on the hook for $9,000 out of pocket. No car. $9,000 of debt. Still on the hook. This is not a hypothetical. This happens to real people every single day across America. So why does this keep happening? Why do millions of smart, reasonable people keep walking into this trap? Because of something called monthly payment thinking, and it's one of the most powerful psychological forces in consumer finance. Here's how it works in your brain. When you think about buying a $47,000 car, your brain screams. That's a lot. That's almost a year's salary for many Americans. It feels scary and irresponsible. But when you think about $560 a month, your brain compares it to other monthly things. Your Netflix is $18. Your phone bill is $80. Your gym is $40. And now your car is $560. It files into the budget. It feels like just another line item. The total price disappears. The 7-year timeline disappears. The interest disappears. All that's left is a number that fits into the mental folder labeled monthly expenses. Car dealerships don't just know this. They design their entire sales process around it. There's even a technique they use called payment packing. A salesperson will start by getting you locked into a monthly payment number you're comfortable with. Let's say $600. Then, once you're anchored on that number, they'll quietly add extras. An extended warranty, gap insurance, a paint protection package, fabric protection. Each add-on only costs you a few dollars more a month. But those few dollars are being stretched across 84 months. A $1,500 warranty add-on sounds much more reasonable when it's described as just $18 more a month. You leave thinking you got a great deal. The dealership's finance office made thousands of extra dollars off you. This is not an accident. This is architecture. And here's the deeper insight about wealth. Transportation is one of the biggest expenses in American life. Most financial experts suggest keeping your total car costs, payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, under 15% of your take-home pay. But the average American is now spending significantly more than that. And when you're locked into a 7-year car payment, you lose flexibility. You can't easily reduce that expense if your life changes. Lost your job? The payment doesn't care. Want to save more for a house? The payment doesn't care. Want to invest more? The payment is still there, every month, for 7 years. Think about what $560 a month for 84 months looks like differently. $560 a month invested in an index fund for 7 years, assuming an average 8% return, grows to roughly $64,000. That's the real cost of an 84-month car loan. Not just the $12,000 in interest, but the $64,000 in lost investment opportunity. The car doesn't just cost you money. It costs you wealth. So what do you actually do with this information? Let's make this practical. First, always think in total cost, not monthly payment. When you're looking at any loan, car, furniture, electronics, anything, immediately calculate the total you'll pay over the entire loan. Multiply the monthly payment by the number of months. That's your real number. That's what you're actually paying. And then compare that to the cash price. The difference is the cost of borrowing. You get to decide if that cost is worth it to you, but at least you'll know what it is. Second, shorter is almost always better. If you can't afford a car on a 48-month loan, that's actually important information. It means the car is too expensive for your current financial situation. A longer loan term doesn't make the car more affordable. It makes it more expensive and hides that fact from you. A useful rule of thumb: for a used car, aim for no more than a 36 to 48-month loan. For a new car, no more than 60 months. And only take a loan where your monthly payment for car-related expenses doesn't exceed 15% of your take-home pay. Third, consider buying used and paying cash or near cash. Here's something wealthy people understand that most people don't. Wealthy people often drive reliable, paid-off cars. Not because they can't afford new ones. Because they understand that a car is a depreciating asset. It loses value. Putting debt on something that loses value is the opposite of wealth building. A 3 to 4-year-old car with low mileage is often an incredible financial decision. You let someone else absorb that brutal first-year depreciation, you pay significantly less, and you avoid the trap entirely. Fourth, if you already have a long-term loan, look into refinancing. If you're currently sitting in an 84-month loan and you're in the early years, it may be worth exploring refinancing to a shorter term at a lower rate, especially if your credit score has improved since you took the loan. Even shaving off a year or two can save you thousands. And fifth, watch out for the monthly payment framing in any purchase. Anytime a salesperson shifts the conversation from total price to monthly payment, that's a signal to slow down. It's not always dishonest, but it's a known technique to redirect your attention away from total cost. Bring it back. Ask for the total. Do the math. Your financial decisions deserve full information, not just the most comfortable piece of it. Here's the thing about money traps. They almost never feel like traps in the moment. They feel like solutions. The 84-month car loan feels like a solution to the problem of an expensive car. The low monthly payment feels like financial flexibility. The smooth-talking finance manager feels like someone helping you figure it out. But the trap works precisely because it's comfortable, because it fits neatly into your monthly budget, because the cost is spread so thin across so much time that it becomes invisible. And invisible costs are the most dangerous kind, because you can't fight something you can't see. The first step to building real wealth isn't earning more money. It's stopping the quiet, invisible leaks. It's learning to see the total picture when someone is only showing you one corner of it. A car is a tool. It gets you from point A to point B. It doesn't build your net worth. It doesn't appreciate while you sleep. It doesn't buy you freedom. But the money you save by refusing a 7-year loan, the money you invest instead of handing to a lender in interest, that money, over time, becomes something very different. That money becomes options. Security. The ability to say yes to opportunities and no to things that don't serve you. That's what the dealership doesn't put in the brochure. So next time someone quotes you a monthly payment, smile, take a breath, and ask the question that changes everything. What's the total amount I'll pay over the life of this loan? Then do the math. Make the decision with your eyes open. Because the most expensive thing you can ever buy isn't a car. It's financial ignorance.